Thank you.
Coburn, 2 minutes, please.
Failing to plan means planning to fail. This is self-evident from Theresa May's humiliation yesterday. From a British perspective, all we see from the EU is an inflexible intransigence. We see this reckless attitude too frequently from the EU, and not just towards the UK. We see the EU's confrontation with Italy, budget, Switzerland, capital markets, Hungary, George Soros, and Poland, judicial reform. And now the EU's poster boy, Macron, supported, it would seem, by Eurogendarmerie force armoured personnel carriers with EU flags blazoned on them, deployed against French citizens, les Gilets jaunes, rising up against your bonkers climate policy. Eurogendarmerie, Euro army of oppression. Given the Eurozone's attitude to others, what confidence can we have, the UK have, in any EU assurances about the backstop? The backstop is an entirely manufactured problem. No one is going to build a border in Northern Ireland. The WTO say it is not necessary. The Taoiseach says Ireland won't build one. And my old friend Jean-Claude Juncker has said the same. If their word can be trusted, then we do not need a backstop. How dare the EU use the tragedy of Northern Ireland as leverage? The issue can be solved by modern technology and goodwill. WTO rules allow at least 10 years to find solutions while negotiating free trade. Article 50 requires any trade terms in the withdrawal agreement to be temporary, so why can we not have an end date to the backstop? I'll tell you why. Because the EU dishes out punishment beatings with the sole aim of humiliating democracy. Jean-Claude himself said there can be no democracy against EU treaties. Pause to consider whether your repeated actions against democracy across the continent make the EU, like Napoleon Bonaparte, a danger to European peace and stability. Ask yourself whether you wish to have the UK and the British people as your steadfast friends or your implacable enemies.
Mr Coburn, just for the record, that statement would have been appropriate for the last debate, but because I'm open and we want to let people be heard, we allowed you to speak.
It's very kind of you, Madam.
Indeed,
but
thank you for that.
I think we choose what we say, do we not?
Can I just also say that personally I find the remarks around punishment beatings about the European Union to be entirely inappropriate. But again, we are a house that allows for freedom of speech.
We have political differences in different nations, Madam.
Yes, and appropriate language also helps.
We were at war for many years.
Let me move to our next speaker.